chilling outside. Wonderful day. Nitty, what's good, baby?
Man, what's going on, man? You know, this one, this particular episode, man, although it does involve prison, but it's a little more personal to me because it deals with some of the romances that I had over the past 30 years with some beautiful young women. I mean, both inside and out. And one of the things that I can remember the most about many of them was the letters. You know, I was talking to a young lady, and she told me, she said, well, she wouldn't talk to a guy in prison. I said, well, why not? She said, well, he in prison, this and that. I said, well, do you mean because of the sex? And she said, no, not really, because I don't be really tripping and pressed about that. I said, okay. I said, because in my opinion, relationships form between male and female in prison are one more honest, right? Because anything that a female wants to know about this guy is nothing but fingertips away on the nearest laptop. So she can always find out, who this guy is. Now, the more the two of them talk, it becomes a thing where real feelings is being expressed through these letters. Like when I write, when I was in prison, I would write like I speak. Right? I would write, and when I did that, it allowed me to really speak from the heart. How I felt, or how my day was, or how I was being inside this box, so lonely without somebody that you love, right? Or this companion. And it used to be like me and my wife would write letters all the time to each other. And the police used to hate that because they seemed like they hated the fact that somebody on the outside cared about me, right? Because she came to see me every weekend and all this. So it was like a thing, man, where we would write, and I can remember one particular time, and she wrote me a letter telling me how hard it was on her way back because she had to leave me in that place. And man, I mean, when I'm reading this letter from her, it was as if she was sitting right there in front of me, telling me this. That's how deep it really gets, when people are really speaking from the heart. Like, because relationships in the streets, male, female, and it's not saying 100% of the time, right? But most relationships formed in the street, it's one ultimate goal, especially for the guy. The guy's trying to sleep with this female. And depending on what this guy got, the female might be trying to get some of that, right? And it's unfortunate, but that is the era time that we're living in, right? So, but back to these, like, prison letters, man, I used to women used to write me poems. And man, they were so beautiful. And I used to say, wow, because outer beauty is one thing. You have females all over the country. They're beautiful, right? Some could be supermodels and things of that nature without even trying. But when you meet a woman who has that inner beauty, and that beauty is it is so concentrated that it actually spills over to you. It becomes infectious, right? And I'm like, wow. So, man, to all the women that I've dealt with, because I currently don't know where none of them are at. However, all the women that I have dealt with in the last 30 years, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being such a beautiful human being. Thank you for sharing your light with me when I was in such a dark, dark place. Because I gotta tell you, ladies, many of you do not know how many lives that you have saved in there. And I'm not just talking suicide. Because you got guys in there who will say somebody had violated them so badly. They say, you know what? I'm killing you. And they just so happen to get that visit out of nowhere. Or they go to the phone because they get ready to tell their wife, their baby mothers, their girlfriends, you know, whatever the case may be, hey, I'm going to go and lock up for a little while, blah, blah, blah. And she say, no, I need you. I need you in my life. You know, you being in there will do nothing but cause me hardship. And it's women who have been such big-hearted that whether y'all know it or not, y'all have saved so many lives. And I had to thank you for doing this because it was savagery in there a good deal of the time. But just like a child, a woman's touch will always be able to soothe the savage beast. You know, a woman, especially a mother, when a child cries, it really does, she needs to do no more than touch this child, hold this child, caress this child, and the child will stop. Sadly to say, but really true, and I speak facts, when men are upset and they're their highest and being angry, many times a woman can actually talk a man down off their legs, especially if she knows that she means something to him. Excuse me. So, and it's the same thing in prison. You know, I remember one of the most horrible things, man, that they did to me while I was in there, and this is when I was in North Branch up in Cumberland. They shook my cell down. Now, they knew that I had already gave majority of the time back already and just waiting on the decisions for the last one. So, they shook me down because they kept on doing stuff and trying to provoke me for they be able to give me a street charge or something. So, they went in my cell, shook my cell down, and they said, hey, we need to take all of your stuff around the corner so we can x-ray it. So, okay, they got me sitting there for a while. So they bring my stuff back, so I think. They bring everything back but my bag of pictures. These pictures had my dead parents, only pictures I had of them in life. Only ones that I know of in the world. They had my children as they was toddlers, growing up into adulthood. They had my grandchildren's pictures in there for when they was first born. You know, they had pictures of me and my wife's marriage, our wedding, excuse me. They had pictures there, everything was in there. And these things were so sacred to me, right? They had pictures of, you know, friends, I mean real friends of mine, childhood friends that had been killed since I had been down. And when they did this, and when I noticed that the pictures was gone, they hurry up and lock the door, and I say, hey man, where my pictures at? And they walked away laughing. They said, oh, we threw it away, we thought it was trash. So, only thing was on my mind, you know, 'cause I went blank for a second. I was like, you know what, I'm killing one of them. You know, the fact that I had just gave back the majority of my time didn't even register at this time. And the only thing that saved me was a letter from my wife. And man, I could feel her pain in this letter. I could feel her fear, her heartache, because I, for one, know how hard it is on a lot of you young ladies who make that ultimate sacrifice of saying, hey, I'm gonna be here for this guy. This guy was a good guy when he was out here. I'm gonna stick it in there with him, right? Or at least for as long as I can, depending on his sentence. So I felt, and she told me, she said, man, we never even been together as husband and wife. She said, I have dreamed so many nights about being held in your arms, being caressed by you. She said, looking into your eyes as we both fall asleep. She said, I have really worked for this all these years. She said, I'm begging you, don't take that away from me. And man, it hit me so hard because I was in a cell by myself. And it hit me so hard, man, like a ton of bricks. And I never had to let somebody really just do something to me and let them get away with it. And that's what I felt, because they taunted me every day about this, hoping that I would slip the cuffs and stab one of them. And they didn't really care that one of them would be injured. They were so evil and so obsessed that they was willing to sacrifice one of their own to keep me in there. And the reason why, my personal opinion, that I believe that they worked so hard to keep me in there was the fact that I dared to challenge them on many things that I knew that was wrong, right? And being in an environment like that, it gets to the point that you have to stand on something, right? And a lot of things that they was doing to us was not only wrong, but it was inhumane. And one of the things, when I grasped the law the way I did, I was sure to make them my first ops, because they had to be stopped, and they had been given so much oversight, so much, it was no oversight. They had been given such a green light that it seemed as if somebody had told them, as long as you don't kill one of them, you good. That's how bad it has got. They used to do stuff like beat us with the metal batons, bust our eyes and stuff like that, and drag us out the cell to humiliate us naked down to tears. These are the things that, like I said, many of these love letters that I like to call, and rescue letters, these are the things that I say that I thank so many of you women for, that has saved so many guys in there. Because I gotta tell you, from somebody who was serving multiple life sentences in almost 200 years, it is not easy getting up every morning on your own with that sort of sentence hanging over your head and not give up. It's like, it's so much more that I want to tell y'all, and I will, right, about this, because I really think that it's something that goes overlooked, for the females who have made this sacrifice. And I want to let you know that I, for one, don't take it for granted. Until next time, y'all take care of yourself. And as always, stay beautiful. Take care of you two. Peace.
Silver Wolf TV, y'all. Thanks for watching.